Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So, I've got my new setup in place, which makes me trade so much better. So, I'm here to help you. The first thing I'm here to say is do not predetermine what you believe will happen in the market. You have to play the trend. Now, me, yesterday, full transparency, I decided that since I missed the decline in the market, that I was going to wait for the bottom and play the rebound. But as everybody that watched the market saw yesterday, there was no real rebound. So I got a little damage yesterday. And then one of our Discord members came on and reached out to me and said, Matt, why are you not playing the trend? Don't fight the trend. So again, that's the lesson for today. I fell victim yesterday. I fought the trend a little. It's okay. I realized my error. I took a small loss and I got out, and I will reattack today. So let's talk about the SPY. Let's just go right into it. China last night came out and they revised their COVID policy. They now have 10 rules in place to lessen the COVID restrictions. Did the market think that was enough? Not right away. China started up 300 points yesterday, 350 points, going about 3 hours into their day of trading. And then what happened? The Chinese market just dropped and fell, and you caught the knife, and the Chinese market went down 650 points overnight, which is like 3%. So there's no doubt that it's going to have effect on our stocks this morning. You're going to see Chinese stocks like Baidu, PDD, Alibaba, NEO. They're probably off anywhere from 3 to 5% this morning, which kind of makes sense because China has a ridiculous run up. Now, as far as our markets go, let's put things in perspective. Let's remember when the Fed came out and there was a Fed pivot, or so people thought last week. The market exploded up and we saw 410 on the SPY. Understand that we're back at those levels dating back a week ago, right prior to where Jay Powell came out and spoke about the market. So let me bring up the SPY so we can talk about it, because most importantly, let's figure out where it's going today. So when we see we're at 392.50 pre-market, we were actually sitting at 391 and change, which if you look, kind of loses the support from November 17th. We lost the support from the end of November to the beginning of December. So right now, pre-market is not a shock that we're seeing a little support at 392. But understand, if we continue to see support, there's a major supply zone at 395. Let me see if I can bring that on. Stop sharing screen. Let me see if I can share Discord with you guys just to show you the dark pool levels that I was looking at. So let's find Discord. Here we go. Let's share it. Let's make sure you guys can see it. All right. So again, we're going to talk about the dark pool levels. I got to add it to the stream, right? There we go. Okay. So we're talking about the dark pool levels. So what did I check out? I checked out dark pool for Apple. Let's just go back here. Dark pool levels for the SPY. Here we go. This was done at 6:44 in the morning. So as you could see, at 395.46, there's a ridiculous supply of the SPY, $38 billion worth. So that's not going to change. So now you have to take and look at the psychology in the market, and you say, okay, if 395 and change is the ceiling, and we're sitting where we closed at yesterday at 394 pre-market, 392 and change, understanding that if we go up to 395, and I hate to make predictions like this, especially after yesterday, but if we go up to 395, it's going to reject. It rejected 395. We battled 395. There's huge supply zone at 395. So we need to watch that position. Again, if it goes up to 395, I would be entering SPY puts. Yesterday, the play was SPY puts. However, because I missed the first part of the down cycle, I said to myself, I would be chasing. However, I shot a video on Discord when we were sitting at 396 and change, close to 397. And I said, we're going to touch 395. And the bad news for my position, because I was in TQQ calls at the time. I said, bad news for my position. If we break 395, we're likely to see 393 yesterday. So we saw the 393 level. Yes, I took the loss on that TQQ. I exited out. It was a reversal. I do believe that TQQQ or the Qs will find support. I was just early. I was looking to call the bottom. 6 out of the past 8 days, technology has gone down. We're back at the level that we saw last week before the Fed pivot. So let's just talk about some individual stocks, and we can talk about where some of these stocks can be going. Because again, it wouldn't shock me if we bounced up to 395 today and we battled the 395, which I believe we'll reject. So I think we're going to trade a narrower day today. When we trade a narrow day in the market, it makes it harder for us to make money. We're looking for volatility, good volatility or bad volatility. We're looking for a major move so we can get a good percentage return. When it's a narrow day and say the SPY is trading a 3-point range, everything's doing a little head and shoulders. Nothing's really breaking out. So I want to try and find some stocks that have the potential to break out. So I'm going to talk about some stocks first, and then I'm going to talk about the ranges of the SPY and see what we're looking for as far as support goes or resistance goes. Okay, so let's get right into it. Activision, ATVI. Again, they were going to be acquired by Microsoft. The deal fell through. Microsoft is not done pursuing Activision. So Activision was as low as 74. Where could it go? Activision, I think, could probably hit the $80 range, which would be a 4-point move upside, which is about 10%, about 5% move upside. Tesla, negative on the downside if the market continues to fall. We saw Tesla have support at 168. The fact that it's at 179, again, I would stay away from Tesla. 2 outflow days. You don't want to be the first to call the bottom on Tesla or the top on Tesla, because if you're wrong, you will get severely hurt. So Apple is sitting at 143, right? Pre-market touched 140 and 16 cents. Why is that important? Because Apple has significant support at 140. So the fact that we're back up trading pre-market at 141.69, again, we're in no man's land. If I was going to get involved with Apple calls and I wanted to be bullish Apple, I got to wait for the 140 level, 140 and 40 cents, 140 and 30 cents, something to that extent. Where does Apple like to reject? Well, Apple had rejection at 151. Apple also tends to reject right at 145. So the same thing that we'd be looking for on the SPY to reject 395, Apple would reject 145. If Apple breaks through, if the SPY breaks through, then you have to understand the next levels. Next level on Apple, 150, 148 to 150. On the SPY, you're talking about 398, which would be major rejection if we do break through the 395. So again, other stocks that have interest to me, Disney seemed to have bottomed after earnings. Again, if there's a huge outflow day in Disney, we could see $89, which would be $3 less. But I happen to think Disney's close to bottoming around $92, 91 and change, and will probably push higher by the end of the year, probably clear over $100. So if I was going to be bullish on one service or one streaming service, in addition to the parks they have, it would be Disney. I wouldn't be looking at Netflix. I wouldn't be looking at Roku. I would be looking at Disney because Disney has so many other aspects. Here's an interesting one. I looked at Boeing. Where's Boeing? Where is Boeing? Fruit. I don't know where Boeing is. But Boeing had a dark pool. I used, let's just bring it up so I can get to that dark pool level. I looked at Boeing's dark pool level. Why? Because Boeing has a lot of inflow. I also looked at GameStop because GameStop has earnings today. But if you look, even with GameStop moving pre-market, you can see the open interest is 86,000 puts and only 18,000 calls. Premiums paid, $29 million in puts, only 214,000 in calls. So what is that telling me? Although I'd love to be bullish on GameStop earnings, why? Because they like to play games with GameStop. It's got issues. I'm looking at the net flow. The stock price is down here. Calls hasn't moved. Premiums for puts has come down a little, but it's still much higher than calls. Again, bearish sentiment I would like to get. Okay, so here's the Boeing. Here we go. At 174, okay, at 175.90, just under 176, you've got major support levels for Boeing, 434 million in the dark pool, 290 million. So when we look at Boeing, and let's just pull it up. I think it's at 176. Pre-market is probably down to, let's see where we got. So it was 178 ended. Pre-market's 177. It went as low as 175. Pre-market probably less than an hour ago. Again, so I think Boeing has support. Now, why I was looking at Boeing? Because I looked at airlines. Again, the airline industry, as tough as the market is being right now, has some support. It has a little stability. Same with the casino stocks. Although I don't necessarily agree with the casino stocks because I don't really trust China, and we know that a good portion of their incomes comes from Macau. What other stocks am I looking at? I'm comparing these two. Affirm is buy now, pay later, right? Their valuation is $3.4 billion. Then you have Upstart. Their valuation is $1.4 billion. Similar company, one's worth twice as much. I thought Upstart was a favorite of big institutions. I'm surprised the firm has double the value. With that said, let's look at Carvana. Carvana received a downgrade today. The stock was trading at $7 pre-market, and somebody came out and they said, we're going to downgrade Carvana from $8 or from $9 to $1. Now they're late to the game because a lot of other companies and analysts downgraded Carvana when it was like $11 and $12 to $1 and said they're likely going to go bankrupt, that they don't have enough money to support their business. This is the same Carvana that, if you take a look at the chart, was at $360. So they're at $6 now, $5 pre-market. The valuation is $1 billion. The same company had, was what? 60 times, had a valuation of probably $70 billion. Now their valuation is $1 billion, from $70 billion to $1 billion. Yes, they sell used cars, but they don't manufacture them. Carvana is in a world of hurt. Now, what does it also tell me about Carvana? Carvana could be a good play at some point in the next 3 to 4 weeks. When Carvana bottoms, when all the bears and all the naysayers are out of that. Okay, we wrote it down from $11 to $3.50. When everybody's out, Carvana has a low float. So I'm going to be looking at that at a possible play. Roblox, okay? So Roblox at $27 became interesting. They were buying up Roblox 6 out of the last 10 days. They were actually starting to purchase Roblox yesterday until the market got dumped on. So I do actually believe Roblox could probably run about 5 or 6% higher in the next couple of days. Again, it's got to fight the trend. You're looking at the Qs. The Qs have had outflow 6 out of 8 days down. I'm looking for a type of a bounce. Roblox had some good volume yesterday. There was some good buying at $30.90. So as we sit pre-market at, we're not off that much. I was hoping Roblox would be off a little more. It's only off 0.5% pre-market at $30.50. But yeah, I think Roblox could go back up. Other stocks. See, Uber Technologies. I never understood Uber Technologies. Their market cap is $54 billion. So you're telling me that Uber Technologies at $54 billion is worth 50 times Affirm, 50 times Upstart, and companies like that, 50 times Carvana. See, that's where the valuations kind of get me sometimes, because I tend to look at the valuations. I tend to put prices. We're looking at Caterpillar right now. Caterpillar is a valuation of $118 billion. You know, I've heard people talk that Caterpillar's valuation should be closer to $150 billion, which would put it up, saying that it has another 25% to run. And I know a lot of people are shorting Caterpillar, and it makes sense. When you look at the chart on Caterpillar, it topped out. It looks like we're on the decline right now. So yeah, some of these stocks still have a little more room to run, but they're on my long-term watch list. Chipotle, major outflow. We're finally settling right back to where we were, 10 days ago, 12 days ago. So there are stocks like that I've seen come down, and we're retesting the same bottom that we saw. So I'm thinking we could see support. Somebody asked me about AMC. So similar to GameStop, and I mentioned AMC last week, when AMC was $7 and running all the way up to $8.25, I said the options play do not support the price action, meaning AMC was having great support and some decent volume. However, they weren't playing the options to match the stock price, which got me a little concerned, which was not a shock. I mean, it was right there. There goes AMC popped up to, I think, $8.25. And I said, if there's outflow in the market, that AMC will likely drop down. Now, where could AMC find support? AMC, just like the other stocks that I mentioned, could technically find support anywhere in this area. I mean, all the way down to $5.68, which is a whole dollar lower. But it wouldn't surprise me if we found support at the $6 range of $6.75, $6.80 range, all the way up to $6.88. It would need to break $7 for me to be AMC bullish again. So those are some stocks. Let's go back to the SPY again. So main levels of the SPY, again, we're not seeing it today, but 398. And of course, we're sitting at 392 pre-market. So of course, I'm going to say 398 is rejection. But for 2 weeks straight, it was rejection until the Fed made a dovish comment last week, and we saw it break through 398 all the way to 406. And then what do we see the next morning? It clicked up to 410 on the SPY, which will again broke the 200-day moving average, but again was resisting at the top. For the SPY to have been bullish, we needed to see 414, probably on our way up to 430. But okay, so 398 rejection, we're not there. 395 major supply zone. So again, if the markets decide to turn green today, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you got the Dow. I'm currently looking. I think it was down as much as 120 points pre-market. I think it's down about 64 points now. Again, Dow stocks are like energy stocks, which have been severely beat up. Energy has been severely beat up. Then you got other stocks like Boeing and airlines. Now the Dow is only down 50 points. So what's likely to happen? Again, I happen to think, and I thought this yesterday, and I'm a little too early. I think the market's been extremely beaten up. Now, here's the catch with the psychology. People say, well, if the market isn't going higher, it's going lower. If it's going lower, why don't we help it go lower by selling off into the market, and then we'll wait for the best entry and we'll repurchase those positions. A lot of big money is saying that. So that kind of worries me, because unless you have support, the big money would win. If there's no support saying I'm going to buy the market at 393 level or 391 level, then the market will continue to go down, because big money will say, okay, we'll ride the bearish downtrend right now. We've been doing it since 405 to 398, 398 to 395. We broke that. 392 is the next level of support, or slightly there under. So I'm really keying in on 391.60 today, which would break yesterday's low. So 391.60. If we hit that level, then we could see 388, 389. That's the next level of support. So again, if you're going to be bearish on this market and you see the market going down, my exit strategy would be between 388 and 389. I would get out. If I want to turn bull like I did yesterday, again, I did not wait for the bottom. I said it could go to 393. Would have been perfect entry for that run up to 394, almost 395 end of day. So if I want to be bullish, whereas yesterday 393 was good entry, no, I'd be waiting for the market to throw up on itself. I would say something like, okay, between 389, around there, I could get bullish. I would go out a week, something to that extent. With that said, if the market bounces off the 391 level that we test, let's just see where we are pre-market, 392.42. Understand, let's just pull it up one more time just so I can show you guys exactly what I'm seeing just for the last time, so we all get very clear. Share screen. Let's get it up there. Let's get up the SPY. Boom. And let's add it to the stream. Okay. And let's make it much bigger than me. There we go. Much bigger than me. Okay. So again, we're sitting here 392.45 pre-market. We're understanding I'm using the 2-hour chart. So I'm going back a number of days. When you look at where the support range has been, 394, 393, we're actually under that. So we actually have to go back to November 17th. Okay. We removed that one dot there, but we see major support at 391.36, at 391.83. So again, as we said at 392.50, if the market is going to turn around, you're not going to see it go lower than these points right here. You're going to see 391.30 something, and that'll be the base. And if you check the market in like an hour, let's say you're checking it at 10 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. or 10:30 a.m., you want to make sure the market held support at 391.36. I keep coming back to that number. The next support under that number right here is when we gapped up that morning again to the 388 level, right? 388. So that's exactly where I'm expecting we see support, even if the market drops. Understand, if the market drops more, the next level of support really is going to be a 377. There is a large drop off. So again, some people, if you're bearish and you're riding that same position, great. Now, the reason I chose my position yesterday is for the past couple of weeks, as the market drops, I was buying the dips. I was buying call options on dips, and it worked for me for 2 weeks straight. Now it hasn't worked for me for 2 days straight. So I'm reevaluating that strategy. Understand, if you find a strategy and it works day 1, day 2, day 3, and you're 10 days in and it's working every day, you stay with the same strategy. If you find a strategy that is not working for you, Like for me, Monday and Tuesday, what do? You reevaluate that strategy, because if it didn't work, maybe the tides are changing. Again, I like to use the XLI, which is the industrial ETF, to tell me if the market is going higher or lower, because that's where a lot of big money hedge funds, banks put their money. Let's just see what we got. We have a daily watch list. Yes, we do post our daily watch list to Twitter, Webull, Moomoo, and you can follow us on Twitter. Also, you could join our Discord platform, 7 days for free. So if you like my pre-market, see, here's the best thing about Discord. It's not me. It's not me alone, and I never claim for it to be me. The greatest thing about Discord is you'll have someone like Romeo, who usually does his live streams around 9:15 and leads you into the market open. Today, he's helping out the West Coasters. He's backing up his live stream till 10 a.m. We have a new member and longtime OG, Tukey, who's been on fire. He's now been giving out his alerts for 3 or 4 days. And then Love is in every single section. Accounting professor for a major university, extremely smart, interviewed with Robinhood. They took her feedback on a lot of information, making changes to their platform. The greatest thing is she's on our platform. She's helping individuals, whether it's in the public chat, the trader chat, the high risk room. We've got so many options. But again, the best thing about our Discord is the service that other people offer for $200 using big market flows, unusual activity, golden sweeps, bullseye alerts. People pay $200. That's what the going price is. So the fact that you encompass everything into our Discord for $35 or $34.99, and you get a week free to try it out, it's like a no-brainer. So again, let's just summarize. If I'm going to give my prediction on the SPY, and understand my predictions were on fire for weeks straight. I've had 2 days where I'm like, okay, this will be the top, this will be the bottom, and I've missed. But if I'm going to give my prediction on the SPY, I'm going to say that we're bottoming at, I'm going to say we find the support at 391 and change. The same charts I was showing you. If we find support at 391 and change, and let's say we go up 3.5 points today and it's a narrow day in the SPY, then I'm going to say 395 is the top, 391 is the bottom. Very narrow day. Now, if you are sitting on the sidelines, you have to make sure you see rejection before you get into puts, or you have to make sure you get into, you see support if you're getting into calls. Yesterday, I caught a falling knife. I averaged down. It was a very risky play, and I got burnt on it. I got burnt for the fact of like $850. Again, not a major amount when it comes to money, but I don't like to feel like a loser. I don't like to feel like I have bad strategy. So I reevaluate and I attack today with a new approach. Yesterday, I bought options too soon. Today, I'm going to tell myself you're waiting till at least 11:30 before you enter into any positions. And unless you're playing an ETF an ETF where you think you're looking for instantaneous change, if I'm going to play stock options, say I go into Roblox or Delta or GameStop into earnings, I'm going to buy out the extra week. That's the game plan for today. Anybody else, please follow us over to Discord. Romeo's going live in an hour. And again, we're all there to help each other. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you like it, give it thumbs up, because everything YouTube does is algorithm driven, and we're really looking to get more followers, more viewers. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. See everybody later.